Hey gang, it's Ron from ITMasterKey.com, and my job is to help each and every one of you guys get certified. So in this video, we're going to be talking about some practice questions for the A+ exam. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into it. If it's your first time doing a test prep with me, once again, I'm Rob from ITMasterKey.com. If you're looking to get certified in the next 30 days, hit the link below and enroll inside of the Zero to IT Hero program. So we've been focusing primarily on 1001. The next video is coming up. We're going to dive into 1002. So we're going to go through these questions as a family. I'm going to read the question to you. I'm going to tell you what the answer is and tell you why that is the answer. Okay, let's go ahead and get straight to it. All right, so Jimmy Longtooth is currently running XP on his machine. He wants to ensure that his system is 100% up to date with all service packs. Every time he tries, not tires, because that wouldn't make sense. Every time he tries to run Windows Update, no updates are found. What most likely is the issue? Has XP reached end of life? No network connection? DNS has been rerouted? Traceroute has failed. For the next questions, I'm not going to read the answers because I know if you guys are on YouTube, you can read. So I'm going to let you read the answers for yourself. What do you think is the answer? I'm thinking most likely, right? So it said, what's most likely the issue? I'm going to say that XP has reached end of life. All right. So when something reaches end of life, that just basically means that the manufacturer, whether it's Microsoft, Apple, so on and so forth, doesn't give support anymore. So it's not going to allow any more updates. You can rock out if you want to with updates, but the manufacturer won't allow any more updates or won't be giving you any kind of support. So what is the CySA triad? What does that stand for? On the actual exam, it's going to be a lot of acronyms. And like I tell you guys before, these acronyms will literally sneak up behind you and choke you to death inside the actual testing center. So just make sure that you know what acronyms stand for. And once you figure out what they stand for, make sure that you know what it pertains to, if it's broke, and how to fix it. So this is talking about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What type of malware is described? Doesn't reveal itself. See, we were talking about stuff. My damn support assistant is about to expire in 41 days. Oh, well, I don't need any damn support. Oh, shit, I got to update something. All right, anyway, back to what we're doing. Doesn't reveal its presence, replace keys, system files, and utilities, provide backdoor for handler, evade, antivirus software. So this isn't an entire sentence. This is just pretty much attributes. So it doesn't reveal its presence, replace key, system files, and utilities, provide backdoor access for whoever, and evades antivirus software. What do we think it is? Either those, that describes the attributes of a rootkit, one of the suckiest viruses you can get and one of the hardest viruses to get rid of. Which of the following would be considered PII? Another acronym, and if you don't know what it stands for, it's going to be hard to figure out what this is talking about. So PII is personal identifiable information. So if somebody has enough PII, they can steal your identity and go buy a bunch of Jordans or go buy a bunch of damn rocket launchers, depending on what type of time they on. So I would say it would be, come on, Mr. Mouse. All right. I would say his social security number is considered PII. All right, again, we 5 questions in. Hopefully you're enjoying this so far. The only fee for admission for this quick class is to like the video, share, and subscribe. to the channel. PII is not a major priority for big corporations due to government interference. Would you say that's true, or would you say that's false? I would say that that is false. So just a quick little caveat. There are no true or false questions on the actual exam. Most of the questions on the exam are going to be scenario-based questions. All right, so what is chain of custody? What does that mean? Out of those options, what would correlate mostly to chain of custody? All right, so I would say track and assets evidence as they are moved from the crime scene. So there's something called digital forensics, meaning that if something weird happens on somebody's computer, they steal some information, they do something illegal, there's some evidence on their actual information, that would be digital forensics. And you got to make sure you got a right or a good chain of custody, because let's say that I got some weird stuff on my computer, the FBI finds out I got that stuff on my computer, but my homeboy works at the storage locker at the police station, right? And I say, hey man, can you please delete all these files? I'll send you some Bitcoin. He said, all right, bet. I sent him some Bitcoin. He deletes all the files. But one thing that he messed up was they knew that he had the laptop when the stuff got deleted, because he passes it up to the next person. And they said, okay, when the person before you had the laptop, all the stuff was on there. Once the person after you had it, none of the stuff was on there. You did it. Time to go to jail. Okay. In security terms, authorization can be best defined as what? What do you think it is? I'm going to say that it is the first answer. So, in security terms, authorization is the process of determining what rights and privileges a particular identity or entity has. This third one, a means for a user to prove their identity to a computer system, that would be more like authentication. All right. In security terms, auditing can be best defined as which of those? Would it be the process of determining rights and privileges, the process of tracking, recording system activities, how to provide or for a person to prove their identity? What do we think it is? All right, tracking and recording what they're doing. That would be auditing. Sorry if you can hear me sniffling. I apologize. My allergies have been whooping my ass. All right, so what protocol does a VPN use to secure traffic? What protocol does a VPN use to secure traffic? I'm going to say it's SSH or Secure Shell. Let's see if I'm right. Damn, it's IPsec. Oh, man, I got it wrong. Oh, it feels terrible. So, long story short, I did that because I had my mind on other things. But on the actual exam, right, let's make sure that we're paying attention, that we don't go too fast, or we're going to make a mistake like that. On the actual exam, you got to get, on the first part, you have to get a 675, right? I think it's like 70-some% right to pass the exam. Now that sounds like, oh, that's not too bad, but that's only 90 questions, okay? And another thing, another question might be, where are these questions coming from? Each one of these questions I made myself, and all these questions are available in addition to all the training that we already provide to our students. So if you're in the Zero to IT Hero bundle program, you already got all this stuff. So VPNs only use IPsec for encrypting passwords. Is that true or is that false? What am I doing? I would say it's false. All right, so a VPN, right? A virtual private network, if you don't already know, it encrypts all the traffic, right? That encrypts or encapsulates all the traffic, not just passwords. All right, Ron is targeting the CFO of Global Pens Incorporated. He has tried various social engineering techniques to try to siphon information from the CFO about the company. This type of social engineering attack would be best known as what? So we only 11 questions in, right? I want you guys to still focus on that question, but also listen to me and look at all the different things we've talked about. We talked about some networking stuff. We talked about some security stuff. We talked about some super simple stuff. So just remember on the actual exam, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be a question about this, a question about that. It's just going to be various topics all over the board. But most of them are going to be stuff like this. Something is broke. How do you fix it? How do you prevent it? So on and so forth. So I would say that this answer is spear phishing. Spear phishing. Bam, I was right. This is the same one. Wait a damn minute. Let's make sure. Ron is targeting, because I don't want to move too fast. Ron is targeting, he has tried various social media. He has this type of, yes, spear phishing. What? So they read it too damn fast. All right, Ron is targeting Global Pens Incorporated. He has tried various social engineering techniques to try to gain any information about the company. He calls the front desk and pretends to be, oh, this is a good damn example. All right, so you see what I just did? Oh, this is the same damn question. No, it's not. Make sure that you slow down and don't make the mistake that I just made. Make sure you slow down, read the question, then you'll know the answer. So this kind of looks like the same damn question, but the biggest difference is this right here. He calls the front desk and pretends to be a high-level executive. If I'd have just read that little snippet, boom, I would have got impersonation. And remember, I made these damn questions and the answers. So if I'm getting these wrong, you definitely can get it wrong if you're going too fast inside the actual box, okay? What allows a router to translate a private IP address into a public IP address? What allows that to happen? If you haven't done so, gang, if you are gaining any value from this, like this video right now. I'm gonna quit IT, man. I'm gonna go start flipping bricks at the construction site, that is. All right, so what allows a router to translate a private IP address into a public IP address? I would say, NAT does that. So network address translation. When you are on your network, you have a private IP address. When you go to the router, there's something called NAT that turns your private IP address into a public IP address, because private IP addresses can't be routed across the internet. ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. Is it true or false? Get some go-go juice. Damn. So I've been trying to, side note, if you don't want to hear this, then click off and go take a nap. But I've been drinking an energy drink. I've been trying to stop it, drinking energy drinks. And if I do get energy, I try to get something that's organic or natural. If you are in any store, Whole Foods, Kroger, wherever the hell, and you see Runa Berry Boost, unless you like the taste of beer, I wouldn't do it, man. It tastes very strange, but I bought it and I'm going to drink it. Okay, ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. I'm going to say yes. All right. Which of the following is true? Port forwarding encrypts all traffic. Port forwarding redirects traffic to the switch. Port forwarding is a legacy technology. Port forwarding allows for a dedicated port for specific traffic. What do we think? I'm going to say port forwarding forwards the traffic to a specific port, a dedicated port. Perfect. Again, we 16 questions in, and here's a word from our sponsors. To land an IT role, most likely you have to have some type of education. That education can come from degrees or even certifications. Speaking of certifications, over at itmasterkey.com, our Zero to Hero bundle is still enrolling, helping people get 7 certifications. 3 of the certifications being some of the most popular certifications in the industry. So if you're looking for some training online, got vouchers, hundreds of damn testimonials, helped out a bunch of people, head over to itmasterkey.com. All right, gang, we back. So, which of the following channels are non-overlapping? Which of the following channels are non-overlapping? I'm going to be honest with y'all, I do not know the answer to this one. So which one of the following channels are non-overlapping? So channels are used in Wi-Fi routers, right? So different channels are better for different things. If you have too many devices on the same channel, it can cause interference, so on and so forth. So which of the following channels are non-overlapping? I'm going to say 3611. Let's see. Check. Right, so it's 16 and 11. 16 and 11, non-overlapping. We just learned something new. If you didn't get to, I kind of went fast. 16 and 11. All right, a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal provides internet to a larger area, but sacrifices speed, while the 5 gigahertz band provides faster speeds to a smaller area. Do we think that's true, or do we think that's false? Do we think that's true, or do we think that's false? I'm actually going to delete this question because 5G is getting a lot more robust, a lot more robust. So this may not necessarily be true right now. Well, it is still kind of true right now, just because 5G is still kind of a shaky thing. But in the coming future, I don't think this is going to be true. People love blowing me up when I'm trying to give you guys the game. All right, so an open global standard for wireless technology designed to use low power digital signals for personal area networks. What does this describe? I would say it describes NFC, which stands for near field communication. Shit. What? Another one we got. I got oh, damn. That's right. All right. So moving too fast. See, distracted. This is like perfect. And I'm not going to edit none of this stuff out. Because if you're distracted, if you're doing too much, Zigbee is that. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, why it wouldn't be NFC? It doesn't make sense. All right. Very good. Zigbee. Good. LoRaWAN uses a blank server, which is a server that acts as an intermediary for requests from clients seeking resources from other servers. What type of server is LoRaWAN using most likely? So keyword, intermediary, go-between, middleman. What do we think? I'm going to say it's probably a proxy server. Very good. So a proxy server is in between, a go-between. Basically, a proxy server, you would use that if you didn't want to reveal your identity to another server. So instead of you connecting to a site directly, you will connect to the proxy server, and then the proxy server would connect to the site and not you. So it would look like the proxy was connecting to it as opposed to you. So I got a quick story. You want to hear it? Here you go. So not long ago, years ago, I used to resell sneakers, right? So the Jordans would come out, Yeezys would come out, the hottest sneakers would come out, and I would get those, and then I would resell them to sneakerheads, for profit. I was doing this while I was teaching, and a lot of my students were actually some of my customers on the side. I like sneakers, but I'm not a sneakerhead like that. I don't like to pay resale. But anyway, I would use proxy servers, right? Sometimes shoes would be exclusive to drop in London or drop in China, blah, blah, blah. And websites would know if you were in China, if you were in London. So I would buy a proxy server or just a server in that state, in that country, and I would actually buy the sneakers and just have them sent to an address there, and then I will have that address send them to me, right? So that's kind of one of the ways that you could use a server, a proxy server, so on and so forth. So it would look like that server was buying the sneakers as opposed to me. All right, so I've been a hustler for a long time, man. But I'm out of that game. So don't ask me, can I get you? Nope, I don't know nothing. Because that's one of the reasons that I do this. Because when I was still teaching, I didn't have my own company yet. But the one of the reasons I stopped doing it because people was dropping $4, $5, $6, $1,000 on some shoes, and it's just like this shit didn't make any sense. Like this isn't going to get you anything. So I'm like, let me start, giving these people something that is valuable. So Gary is a server administrator for Loop Inc. He set up a server that he uses to send diagnostic and monitoring data. The data he gathers can then be analyzed for system monitoring, network maintenance, and more. What type of server is Gary most likely using? What do we think? Damn, my bad, Joe. My bad. Hopefully if you got your headphones in, I apologize. These damn allergies ain't no joke. All right, so change this banner right quick. What the hell is the banner at? So I'm gonna say a syslog server. Very good. All right, Junie wants to implement a security solution that covers multiple functions. She wants the solution to encompass both hardware and software solutions. She believes this would give the security posture more layers. What solution has she implemented? Let's see what she did. I'm going to say, let's see. I'm going to say a UTM. All right, so a UTM. A UTM is a universal threat management. So it kind of has layers, and it has detection, prevention. It kind of tries to put everything all in one to stop as many threats as possible. You know what? It's either UTM is either threat management or threat mitigation. Damn, which one is it? I'm gonna say threat management, but if it's not that, it's Oh no, that's a migration. Hell no, it's universal threat management. Very good, great. Making myself proud. Which of the following security solutions is the most expensive to implement and maintain? Again, if you haven't done so far, make sure that you like this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you're working on. If you got A+, when you take an A+. And yeah, that's that. I'm gonna pause my screen right quick because, like I said, these allergies whoop my ass. So I'm gonna take me off the screen right quick. But just I'm gonna be right here with you guys, not going anywhere. But I gotta blow my damn. And I'm back like I never left. So, which of the following security solutions is the most expensive to implement and maintain? I would say it's going to be an IPS. So IPS is intrusion prevention system or service. Then IDS is intrusion detection service. So IDS is kind of like a security guard, right? So you hire just a regular security guard, pay him $9 an hour. Don't give him a gun, don't give him a flashlight, don't give him nothing. And when he sees somebody breaking in, he calls you like, "Hey man, somebody was breaking in," and he say, "I'll call the shit." He might even call the police, but he pretty much isn't going to do anything himself. As opposed to an IPS actually tries to prevent the threats. So it'd be barbed wire around the building, it'd be cameras, it'd be firewalls, it'd be antivirus, it'd be a little bit of everything to try and prevent stuff. And then when something does happen, it actually try to remove it, right? So detection, IDS just detects it. IPS actually tries to prevent it. And then if something does get past it, it tries to get rid of it. So we've been talking about this. Is that true or false? I'm going to say false because I just told you 10 times what the hell it stands for. And IDS is, you should be able to get this as well. Is it retractive, reflective, proactive, reactive? I would say it's reactive. Boom, on the road. All right, Mikey has 100 computers that he needs to put on his network. He has a pool of addresses that can be assigned to these devices. He starts to assign these addresses to each device manually. Which type of method is Mikey using to assign these addresses? We're almost 30 minutes in. I'm going to keep rocking with you guys. I usually only make these 30 minutes. I think I'm going to make this one 30 minutes and 30 seconds. Anyway, I'm going to say static, right? So when it comes to assigning IP addresses, static and manually can be interchangeable. They can be used interchangeably. All right, gang. So this is our next question. Dynamically assigned IPs are handled by who's responsible for assigning IP addresses automatically. While you think about that, I just want to tell you a quick story that I'm proud of. Our students over at itmasterkey.com and the Zero to IT Hero program are getting certified in 30 days. The certification that they are getting is A+. Actually, students are getting ITF Plus and A+ in 30 days. And most students are getting the whole shebang. That's ITF Plus, A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus in 90 days. So in about 3 to 4 months. So if that sounds good to you, if you like the way I teach, the training comes with online lectures, hours and hours of lectures, a study group, an accountability coach, which will be me or one of the other instructors, mentorship, and vouchers to take the exam. So it's a win-win situation. It's going to be in the description if you're interested. And it includes A+, of course. All right, so the DHCP server is responsible for doing that. The process the DHCP server goes through to dynamically assign IP addresses is referred to what? What is that referred to as? And I'm never buying this shit again. Barry Boots. I would say it is DORA. Discover, offer, request, acknowledge. Another acronym that you got to know. Oh, another thing, we 30 minutes in. So if you want some truth, here you go. Is this enough to pass the A+? Nope. Are the questions on the actual exam more difficult than this? Probably so. So if you are having a hard time with this shit, if I am, dropping some stuff that you never heard before, that's great. Everybody has to start somewhere, but you definitely need to get into the training sooner than later. Okay. Lena has set a pool. What? Lena has set us what? Yeah. Lena has set aside a pool of addresses to be used on Lucky Loop's network. Lucky Loops wants to make sure each server receives the same IP address every time from the DHCP server. What does Lena need to do to ensure this happens? Make sure that you thumbs up the video. Make sure that you subscribe. And if you find it in your heart to buy me a coffee, you can always donate to the channel as well. If you already have these certifications, all of the proceeds go right back to stuff just like this. You guys got enough time to look this over. I would say you just reserve those IP addresses. Boom. What is the default? We're getting real heavy into the networking. What is the default subnet mask for a Class B? That says B. Class B IP address. Now, if you don't know what subnet mask is, if you don't know what networking is, you probably was real confident before this damn slide came up. Now it's I don't know. So once again, this is not the actual exam, right? If this was the actual exam, a lot more people would probably be, shit, I don't know. Because a lot of y'all probably don't know the answers to this stuff either, but that's okay. So the default subnet mask for Class B IP address is 255.255.0.0. Here go another one. What about the subnet mask for a Class A IP address? If you don't know what an IP address is, that's okay. An IP address is your logical IP address, or excuse me, your logical address on the network. You have to have an IP address on the network to connect to other devices and to send and receive information. All right, so Class A is 255.0.0.0. I think I said enough zeros. What about Class C? Class A, I'll give you guys a little hint. If you ain't getting what the hell going on, it's 255. Class B is 255.255. So what do we think Class C is? Now you're getting it. 255.255.255.0. If the device you're using has an incorrect gateway, you will be able to access the internet. Is that true? Or is that false? I'm trying to figure out, am I going to do another 1001 video or just let this be the last one? This might be the last one, depending on how long I do it. What the hell did I just say? Okay, so I would say it's false, right? Your gateway is your router. Your router is your gateway. Don't have one of those, and you better get on internet. Network address translation translates blank into blank that can be routed across the internet. I gave you the answer to this one earlier. Hopefully you said private IP addresses into public IP addresses. CAN networks are predominantly used for which of the following? Now, if you know what that stands for, like I said before, it makes this question 10 times easier. Like literally, it damn near gives you the answer. So educational organizations. CAN stands for Campus Area Network. Campus Area Network. So colleges, schools, that kind of stuff. Give me 1 second. I need to text the president. All right, so Janice lives in a rural part of Sleepytown, Minnesota. She has a form of internet that is extremely dependent on LOS. If any obstructions are in the way of the connection, it will cease to work correctly. What type of internet connection does Janice have most likely? What do we think? I would say that she most likely has satellite because satellite is super dependent on LOS. LOS is stands for line of sight. So basically, if clouds or anything is in between you and the damn you and the satellite, you ain't gonna be able to get no signal. I got some more exciting news for you, gang. So right now, it's October for me, and I'm talking to you in the future. So it's December. In December, I'm dropping videos Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 2 o'clock. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Some motivational stuff, some current news, some of this type of stuff. So just be looking forward to a video every day. Not every day. I'm not. I love you guys, but not that damn much. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. DSL stands for Direct Satellite Link. Is that true or false? That is false, believe it or not, gang. That stands for Digital Subscriber Link. Marcus is running Cat 6 cable for a new startup. What tool should he use? What tool should he use to terminate the cable ends for the device? Yeah, I think it's going to be the last 1,001. I'm going to jump into 1,002. All right, so believe it or not, crimper. So terminate just means you putting a connector on the end of the cable. Which of the following tools will be used the most when implementing setting up data lines at an MDF? I would say a punch down tool. Let's see if I'm right. Bam. A loopback test is a test in which a signal is sent from a communication device and returned loop back to it as a way to determine whether the device is working right or as a way to pin down a failing node in a network. I'm gonna say that's false. That's actually true. Oh shit, yeah, of course that is true. I'm sorry. So there's something else called a toner probe, right? And that kind of does the same thing a little bit. But a loopback test literally just makes sure there's a full loop, a full communication loop, making sure that I send it from you, it comes back to me, or it goes to where it's supposed to go to. I read this completely messed up. So there's something called a toner probe, right? And it can actually do something like this, but I only looked at failing node in the network. So a toner probe sends a tone down a Ethernet cable or cable in general, and it'll tell you if it's disconnected, and if it is disconnected, or if the line is broke or it's broken. So I'm about 3. Shit, I got about what 2 or 3 wrong already. Shame on me. Of the following, which sends an audible pulse down? God damn it! I gave y'all the answer. But like I said, keeping this live, I'm not editing it. I want you to see, like even me, been doing this for years. If you don't read the question or if you're moving too fast, you'll get this shit wrong. So just be careful, okay? Toner generator and probe. A Wi-Fi analyzer helps you optimize your Wi-Fi for best performance. Do we think that's true or do we think that's false? Hey gang, make sure you like this video, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna say that's true. Lane is the project. Lane is the project. That's that word. Lane is a project manager for Lane Industries. He is currently on site of the company's newest acquisition. He is talking to the network engineer about network implementation. The engineer informs Lane that he needs to use cabling that is fire retardant. What type of cabling is the engineer referring to? I'm gonna say plenum rated. Plenum rated. Plenum rated cabling is fire retardant. STP cabling helps to reduce what type of interference? So this is another acronym. As you've seen, it's a bunch of acronyms and they can really throw you off. So STM or STP stands for shielded twisted pair. Shielded twisted pair, and that stops EMI, which is electromagnetic interference. STP is more expensive than UTP. Shielded versus unshielded. It's pretty straightforward. That would be true. Excuse me. A cable that uses T568B on both ends would be referred to as a what? What kind of cable? We'll start a yard, man. That may be. It's time for me to wrap it up. I'm gonna say straight through cable. Crossover cable. So once again, moving too quick. So straight through cable is used for unlike devices. A crossover cable is used for like devices. The T568B and T568 standards are just standards of how to make the cable. So somebody can just unplug it, look at it, and say, oh, this is what kind of cable it is. Okay. So crossover is usually used for like devices, switch to switch, computer to computer. Straight through device is usually used for unlike devices. Lenny has just received his fiber installation certification. When installing fiber cables, Lenny must ensure he does not exceed what? You know what I got to tell you for, gang? Some peanut M&Ms. I'm about to make sure that somebody brings them to me. Send. All right, so you can't exceed the bend radius. If you exceed the bend radius, it's going to break the damn cable. It's going to be no good. One of the major differences between Category 5B and the newer Category 6 is what? I'm going to say Cat 6 is supposedly be able to handle gigabit Ethernet. So we're going to have 1 gig running through there, 1 gigahertz, or 1 gig, excuse me. Gang, make sure that this video has been liked, shared, and that button, that big ass red button that says subscribe, make sure it's not red anymore. It should be gray if you are subscribed. If the cable you're using for the internet has terminated using a RJ11, you're most likely using what type of internet? Another thing, gang, make sure that if my subscriber count is less than 15,000 when you're watching this video, that you subscribe to the damn channel. All right, so I would say if you use an RJ11, you're probably using that good old dial-up, man. No bueno. A DB9 has a 9-pin connector. Is that true? False? What we think? It's definitely true, man. What type of solid state drive plugs directly into an expansion port on the motherboard? I'm going to say an M2 SSD. Lin has implemented an array that focuses primarily on speed and provides no redundancy. What level of RAID has Lin used? I'm going to say 0. I'm going to say RAID 0. Make sure that you are familiar with the various things that we covered today. but make sure that you feel comfortable with the RAID levels as well. So RAID primarily is going to be centered around data storage. Give me 1 minute, gang. I'm going to be right back, I promise. What's up, baby?
My key not working.
All right, I'll be out there in a minute. Be right back, gang. The missus calls. All right, gang, I'm back. So we'll go through a few more questions, then I'm going to let you guys have a good day. All right, so RAID 5 needs a minimum of how many disks to be implemented? At a minimum, how many disks do we need to implement RAID 5? So believe it or not, you need at least 4. You need 4 to actually need 3. I'm tripping. You need 3 for this. So none of these. You need 3 to implement RAID. So that's another thing. Like I said, make sure that you feel comfortable with RAID because it's going to come up on the actual exam. And avoid distractions. I mean, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, come on, baby. All right, so don't do don't do nothing extra though. So next question. RAID JBOD refers to what? That refers to literally just a bunch of disks. So you're not really, it's a level of RAID kinda, but you don't really care. It's literally just a bunch of disks. That's what it stands for. RAID 10 encompasses both blank and blank data. Hopefully you pick the last one, mirroring and striping. Hot swappable refers to devices being out of tolerance with baseline standards. Is that true or is that false? All right, guys, as you can see, wife in the background, people calling me, all kind of stuff. In life, you're going to have distractions. In life, you're going to have, a bunch of shit going on at the same time. Me, I'm in a hotel, right? But one thing I don't make is excuses, right? Most people would have just took this time off. Most people would have just been like, shit, I'm in a hotel. I can't really do this. Not me, though. I got a finite amount of time on this earth, and I'm going to use all of it to be, as productive as possible. That shit is not true. Hot swapping refers to devices being out of tolerance with baseline standards. No. Hot swapping just means that you can unplug stuff and plug it back in without turning the power on. Because a long time ago, you couldn't do that. You couldn't swap out devices without turning the damn device off. What form factor for motherboards is the most popular? Talking about how nasty this drink is, and I damn near drunk the whole thing. I'm gonna say ATX. Which boot option loads minimal drivers needed? The minimal amount of drivers needed. I'm gonna say safe mode. Safe mode to help you troubleshoot to see what's wrong. Hey gang, as I said before, I've been on here rocking out with you guys for an hour, and my time is precious. I can't get it back. So at a minimum, like this damn video, share, subscribe. If you need training, come to itmasterkey.com. If you're not looking for training, refer one of your buddies, one of your friends. The top of next year, we're going to start. You need to get over it. The top of next year, we're going to start interviewing students. We already did that. We got a bunch of students in the queue. I just got to make time to make it happen, right? All right, so safe mode, boom. Jessica wants to use full drive encryption via BitLocker. What must be present for this to be possible? So she needs a TPM chip for that to be possible. Luke wants to use software that can locate his laptop if it's lost or stolen. What would allow you? That's it. Just took the L off. Forget it. He doesn't need it. Luke to find his laptop. What would let him do that, man? So out of all the software that's going to come up on the exam, LoJack is going to be the answer to this. Now, there's other softwares that can do this. We know that. But if it's asked on the exam, LoJack is the preferred one for some reason. All right, so Jim is a security engineer that's troubleshooting a system. He wants to prevent malicious software applications and unauthorized operating systems from loading during system startup. Which option below can assist Jim? I'm going to say that I need to read the damn question again. Jim is a security engineer that's troubleshooting a system. He wants to prevent malicious software applications and unauthorized operating systems from loading during the system startup process. Which option below can Jim use? I'm going to say secure boot. Secure boot should allow him to do that. Very good. You are upgrading a CPU for a customer. Once you've taken out the old CPU and placed a new CPU into the socket, what should you place on the CPU before attaching the heatsink? What do we think? Believe it or not, you should put thermal paste. All right, gang. So that's it. That's all. I want my wife to be able to. Well, I'm about to record another video. I was gonna say I want my wife to be able to enjoy herself and relax. But I'm gonna make one more video and then we're going to arm wrestle each other. Anyway, gang. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the link below to watch our previous videos and to enroll into the Zero to IT Hero bundle. Other than that, you already know. I'll see you in class.